Call the spaceships to Davenport. Prepare for Divanarchy. Interface with a couch in space. Bingo, bango, bongo. Welcome to Space Couch. We're all professional and stuff. We got a couple weeks in a row here on Space Couch, which is of course due to the wonderful benefaction of our sponsors, who are of course this week brand new Lugerhawk Records. Check out this week's Tremendous 10.
Through the fog, my thoughts are hazy. What did you do to us all now? Jupiter and Saturn, Oberon, Miranda, and...
Let's get it on. We're acting like this.
And still sponsored by the coolest action figure company in all the land. I hear they're getting Visionaries. I am so excited. They just put out some Thundercat stuff I gotta get. But you can do all that at SpaceCouchShow.com. I screwed it up. Super7.com/Space Couch Show Vampire Mermaid!
Now for Vampire Mermaid! Vampire Mermaid!
Ladies and gentlemen, okay, I am. I always say I'm excited, but like this one, this one's I'm really pumped for because it's been a minute, and as we find out, it's been a year almost to the minute. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, your friend of mine, Leon Idol. What's going on, buddy?
You open your show stealing my bingo, bango, bongo catchphrase, so fuck this, I'm out.
Well, that was the quintessential Leon Idol experience right there. I know. As long as we're doing catchphrases, I wanted to toss yours in. Well, welcome back to space, man.
What is up, you beautiful bastard? I didn't tell you this, but when you hit me up a few days ago, being like, "Hey, will you be on the show this week?"
Yeah.
I shit you not. I had been thinking like a week or two prior. It's been a long time since I chat with Brian. I wonder if I'm ever going to be back on his show. I promise you, I was thinking it like a week or two ago. Then you hit me up.
As we found out, we are, despite being separated by the vastness of the cosmos, are weirdly simpatico in life. And because I didn't mean to do it, but it's been almost a year to the day.
I know. What are the odds, dude? It's so serendipitous. It was almost a year ago.
And it would have even been because I was sick at the time, so we had to like push it, and you were good enough to do it for me. So it weirdly lined up. So you are, of course, no stranger to the show. Friends of the show will recognize your voluminous output, but for the uninitiated, let's do a little encapsulate what you create. I think it may have been called Describe Your Vibe when you were last year, but you two fucking stole it.
I like encapsulate what you create. That's got actually like a nicer scheme to it.
Thank you. It's got a little iambic pentameter. Well, only the best for celebrities like yourself. So, let's do an info drive-by on everything you're doing right now, because you have a couple offerings.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've actually kind of changed my content quite a bit
since
I've been on a year ago, because back when I was on the first time, I was still working a full-time job, and now I do this full-time. So I stream and put out videos every day, but instead of just like my typical content is, pop culture and political critique, media analysis, things like that. Like, hey, why are ugly women in video games suddenly getting man jaws? But also, why is Pam Bondi the worst thing in the history of ever? And
how dare you say anything? 1,000 or 5,000? Sorry.
But no, I love doing that. But I also was like, man, if you're spending time only talking about pop culture and politics all the time, it does get frustrating. So you need to space it out. So I've added a few shows One of them, Tinfoil Haters. So every Tuesday night we do a deep dive on a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory live show. And then on Saturdays we do Analog Horror Nights, which is we just go through and we dive deep into. I assume you know what analog horror is. Do you know what analog horror is?
I mean, I know what those words separately mean. I'm assuming they have a different concept when.
Yeah. So
concatenated.
analog horror is basically it's a huge trend on YouTube, and there's these independent creators make. It's almost like found footage horror, but it's not quite the same because it's what it does. It uses the illusion of digital tech. Like, hey, here's a news story about a town that went missing back in 1987, and it's presented in a way of before the digital age. There's like no real way to verify whether it's real or not. It's super interesting. But like, if you're a horror fan and love like the old school era of the early 90s and prior, it takes you back in such a beautiful way.
Awesome. Hell yeah. That sounds amazing. Okay. Cool. Well, we and we do all this by putting Bolt the Word into our favorite Rumble, YouTube, all that.
Oh, yeah. So Bolt the Word is my handle on X. But the channel is Words of Paradise. Yeah, you can find me. Just type in Words of Paradise, first thing to come up. But it's Bolt the Word on X because
it's Bolt the Word on.
Yeah. I'm a Magic the Gathering fan, and there's a term in Magic the Gathering is Bolt the Bird. That means to kill a Birds of Paradise on site. Well, my channel Words of Paradise, Birds of Paradise. So Bolt the Word because Bolt the Bird. It's all convoluted Magic the Gathering references, even though Wizards of the Coast is a disgusting, awful company.
Well, I almost had my official vampire status revoked after I got canceled by the Wizards of the whoever does.
The witches of the woke.
Or whichever company was doing.
Well, and also because you were doing in the goth scene in California, so you could actually call them bitches of the coast.
Yes.
Because you're on the coast. So.
I don't think it was them. Now that I'm saying it, some other company revived Vampire of the Eternal Struggle after it came up and made me a card in that game, and then it all went to shit. But this is about you, not me. So I asked this.
I love hearing about you as well. This ain't gonna be near as fun if it's all about me.
Okay, well, I do love the sound of my own voice a little bit too much, so I'll try not to do it. But
I love the sound of your voice as well.
Fantastic.
That's why you're the singer, not me.
This will work out like gangbusters. We'll check this out. Speaking of singers, I was talking to your Tinfoil Haters. One of them co-hosts the illustrious Sammy Threepeat,
man.
Who just sent me some of his recent live material, and good Lord, can that guy hold it?
Doesn't he sound like a bluegrass Chris Cornell?
Amazing, like it's unreal. The
he doesn't even do bluegrass, by the way. Like that's not his, but he has that bluegrass Chris Cornell blend of a voice. Is the best way I can describe it.
Yeah, right. And it's having heard his voice, that makes a lot of sense. And if you at home are going, what? Like Soundgarden with a banjo? What is bluegrass Chris Cornell? It makes sense. Anyway, he's great.
Yeah, when you hear it, it makes sense. Right. Exactly. It's such a weird comparison, though. Also, unlike Chris Cornell, he is still at least currently alive.
at least on the outside. We don't know how he is in his heart.
Right.
But I had asked him if there was any particular, because you cover a different conspiracy every night on Tinfoil Haters.
Conspiracy or supernatural happening, yeah.
Right. And if there was anyone that, like, sort of stuck with him that he found, like, thinking about, like, when he was idling at a red light or just like washing the dishes or whatever. And he had mentioned, I'm going to forget the name, like the vocabulary word, but like the fake internet is like
dead internet theory. Yeah. Dead internet theory is 100% real. Dead internet theory is 100% real. And if you guys don't know what it is, self-plug, watch the episode, your mind will be blown and you will hate the world you live in.
So, do you have any similar sort of episodes it kind of hung out with you for like after you did it?
I've got actually quite a few, but I've got two that really stick out. Well, it's kind of three because there's an episode of Tinfoil Haters that you guys will never see unless you were there live because YouTube struck us down midstream.
Really?
This happened
because of the content.
3 weeks ago, yeah, because of the content. So this one is currently sticking with me because it was very recent. This happened 3 weeks ago at the time that this comes out. We were covering the heart attack gun. Now, because there's no footage on screen, your video should be safe. But basically, back in 1975, the CIA came completely clean with the fact that they had a gun that could shoot a toxic dart into whoever the operation is on. It would cause a heart attack. Like, it would actually cause a heart attack, but it's simulated. It is 100% real. I'll explain how it's real in a moment. But basically, the poison would simulate a heart attack so that it couldn't be traced. And not only is this 100% verified by multiple independent journalists, there is archived footage from the Associated Press about the Senate inquiry called the Church Committee actually analyzing the physical gun. And you can see the gun, and the FBI or the CIA is testifying that it is real, and they're showing up the gun. Look up the Church Committee; it's all 100% real. That episode will never be viewed again. I have it cataloged, and I have it in my StreamYard right now. But YouTube struck it down mid-episode because we were showing archived footage of the gun that the Senate was physically holding their hand and reviewing, while the CIA was acknowledging it's real.
Get the fuck out of here! That's crazy.
I swear to God, and it's absolutely and the conspiracy goes deeper. It's not a conspiracy theory; it's fact. It's all proven. The CIA had this black budget project that completely ignored Nixon's orders in 1969 to get rid of all toxic chemicals. It is fucking crazy.
Wow, because I've heard of the Havana syndrome, like sound weapon and stuff like that, but it's all very hearsay. But you're saying there is a hard it physically exists.
There is hard evidence. Not only does the Associated Press have the Senate hearing archived on YouTube, but the New York Times has multiple articles archived on their own website. So you can go back and read the original newspaper reportings from the New York Times that were covering the Church Committee Senate hearings.
That's wild. Okay, good answer, man. Goddamn. Wow. Okay. Well,
yeah, sorry to blow y'all's mind out there.
No,
this is what the CIA was covering up in '75 that was happening in the '60s.
Right.
What are they doing now?
Oh man, we got like heart attack fucking 6-shooters now, probably.
Right? Yeah, exactly. They've upped the rounds in the chamber. Fuck.
Right. And it would be like undetectable which is basically the plot of Babylon 5 one season. But
it's the toxin from the pufferfish. I don't remember the name of it.
Oh, wow.
But the gun shoots a dart. Its max length was the length of a football field, 100 meters. It uses the pufferfish toxin. And it actually had the Senate, the FBI or the CIA. Also admitted to having about 6 to 8 other potential poisonous rounds they could use, but the one that was focused on was the pufferfish toxin, and because it happens so rapidly, it simulates a heart attack, even though that's not actually what kills.
Crazy.
It's crazy, but it's 100% real.
Very well. Homework starts early this episode out there on Earth. Speaking of Earth, we can bring it back down into sort of worldly concerns. I was just curious how you been, dog. Because it's been like a year to the day.
After finding all that out, not too well, buddy. Let me tell you, I'm living in a world where I'm sleeping with one eye open, man.
Oh.
If YouTube shut me down mid-episode for covering this, and their claim was that I broke the firearms rules, which is obviously bullshit because I was using the AP footage that was on YouTube. So if they're putting me down for this on YouTube, what the fuck else? I'm on a list somewhere, and I'm very nervous about whether or not my brakes will work next time I get in the car.
We are on so many lists. I can't even.
For sure.
Oh yeah, and
I've also said a whole lot of bad shit about Netanyahu, so I'm also on list for that.
You're gonna get massated with one of those heart attack guns in a week and a half.
Exactly. Yeah, that's entirely. So I guess this will be the first time I say it live on any show. I'm not suicidal.
You're not planning on having any heart attacks from?
Yeah, and I also don't know anybody affiliated with Hillary or Bill Clinton.
Right. The professional streamer. That's kind of exciting, though. Or is it like a giant?
Best job in the world, and I thank my audience for it every fucking day because I could not do this without them.
Well, Hell yeah! Check out and support our guest in his achievement of life goals. Well, I had something of a life goal accomplished when I
Lay it
had,
on me, son.
well, when I had the great Leon Idol do guest vocals on one of the coolest gasoline invertebrate tracks in the entire
it
catalog.
was awesome.
It's a lot of fun. Check out Cancel Cell, out now, gasolineinvertebrate.bandcamp.com.
Oh, you want to cancel me because I own a Cybertruck or I'm a cyberpunk and we're living in the digital age where freedom is information and information is power. But you have no information. All you have is an appeal to emotion, a full power granted you by your own chanting acolytes of victimization. Your lives mean nothing to us anymore. You used to be able to take our jobs, take our spirit, take our freedom, call us racist, sexist, homophobic, and we coward. We were afraid of the false labels, and every day you can ask us, well, who radicalized you? And you'll blame the orange man, you'll blame the guy making electric cars.
I wanted to bring it up not only to do a victory lap on it, but it's.
But for me to tell you how absolutely honored I was to be on the track.
Oh,
My God, it was.
Thanks,
I shit you not. This is gonna sound like I'm sucking your dick, which I'm not. I would, but I'm not. It's one of like my top 10 crowning achievements in my content creation journey. I think it's top 10 list. It might even hit top 5.
Thanks,
Things
man.
that in the last 3 years since I've become a content creator. Guest vocals on a fucking Brian Grotner track about cancel culture is in that top 10, maybe even top 5.
Oh, dude. Well, thank you. Well, it shows because you nailed it, and in a weird, possibly unintentional way, it's so because the news cycle that we're in right now moves at a ludicrous speed.
Breakneck speed.
Yeah. It's gone to plaid. It completely encapsulates what was just the fervor of the day.
Yeah, the extremism a year ago, or however long ago it was, like 9 months ago, now is benign compared to where we're at now.
Right.
Although I will say, to the individual that parodied that album of yours, which they didn't do a very great job of, by the way, they didn't even attempt to parody my vocals. So either fuck you or thank you. I don't know which.
There's been a couple. Was this
has he really?
Yeah. Was this Nuclear Invertebrate that I sent you, like the real bonkers one?
No. I think it was or maybe it was Nuclear Vertebrate.
That was it.
That one. Yeah.
That he didn't even attempt to do it. Like
I was so pissed. I was like, look, either my lyrics were so good you couldn't adequately parody them, or you're such a lazy fuck you didn't even try to parody me. I don't know which it is, but fuck you. Like
that's why, and don't even like worry about it for you at home. I haven't brought it up much, but I'm over 20 like diss/parody tracks that I know of.
Dude, if you got haters, you doing it right, son.
Hell yeah. And that last one, the guy went all out. Like he went through my entire catalog. Like he put in like a lot of work up front.
Like that album alone, every track got parodied.
Right, but like more so like the one I did with Libertarian Goth and like really obscure ones. Like he really like went through the whole catalog.
I love that bitch, by the way. Just check, because I know Libertarian Goth watches, and I fucking love you. Not as much as Brian, because Brian, my fucking homie. I love you.
It's not a cup. Well, I mean, the internet loves Libertarian Goth. She's amazing. But yes, thank you for that.
Here's the difference, though. Even if she was ugly, I would still love her. Like, because that does mean something. Because there's so many babes out there that like have these dope ass based opinions. However, a lot of them like get a pass because they're hot. Right. Their opinions aren't actually that well thought out. Even if now I would like her less if she was ugly, but I would still really like her if she was ugly. So.
The fact that she's smoking hot does not hurt, but it's also pretty awesome. So but like that was just a one-off. Like it wasn't on an album, so like he parodied that one, but like not well. Like he put in all the work up front, but like the actual product is like so shitty. Like you couldn't have tried like a little bit, like so I have little respect for it, like as an erstwhile humorist,
as another artist, right?
Yeah.
Like, look, when Weird Al parodied shit, people respected it.
Totally.
Kurt Cobain wrote in his diary that Weird Al's a modern rock genius. So if you're doing your parodies right, the artist should respect it. And the fact that you're that bad at it speaks volumes. You fucking loser.
Dave Gahan said that that's when he knew he made it. Was that or not Dave Gahan, Dave Grohl?
Yeah. Okay.
I would love it if Weird Al did a Depeche Mode song, but no, Dave Grohl said that Nirvana had made it when Smells Like Nirvana had come out. So that's all that whole thing. But the actual ones you did was talking about like burning Cybertrucks was like the big offense at the time. And in like I don't mean to be morbid, but you have to like a pre-Ice, pre-Charlie Kirk world. That's just like, oh, I remember when horrific property damage was like.
What was the track before Charlie Kirk? Really?
Yeah, not like because that's what I'm saying. Like it's such a watershed moment.
It feels like a lifetime ago that all this happened.
Less than a year.
I couldn't remember because I mean I won't lie, the version of the verse that I wrote.
Yeah.
I mean, 'cause I was speaking about the ideology of the left effectively being murderous towards our kind, even prior to the Charlie Kirk stuff. Apparently, so I guess it might ring different. No,
it actually. Now that I'm sort of thinking about it, like it really is prophetic in a dark way. But yeah, like the you can't tolerate diversity of thought. You know, boy, was that right? Holy shit!
No kidding. I mean, it's like I don't know. It's wild because when I was writing the lyrics to it, and it's one of the reasons it took me so long to get it to you because you were having me like, hey, you got those lyrics yet? Hey, you got the recording yet? And I was like, nothing I did. I had to rewrite it so many times because nothing felt good enough. And then because I didn't know how aggressive to go.
Okay.
Excuse me. But I was like, you know what? If I can just start with an homage to Billy Idol, which is my musical hero, the rest can flow from there. And Cyberpunk is my favorite album, even though it's his, like the album people hate the most from him, which is crazy. It's like, oh, Cyberpunk, and then from there it was just like I couldn't stop writing. It just fucking flowed. I ended up writing the final version in like 10 minutes.
Hell yeah! Well, the final product I will say is quite the shock to the system. But
yes, my man, dude, you know how many people don't even know the songs in that album?
Back at you, man. Speaking, we'll continue on this trend of you defending my honor after I had the insane experience of going on the Tim Pool Culture War show.
So fucking proud of you for that, dude.
Thank you.
I didn't even really know who Jake Monroe was. I was watching for you, but it turned me into a Jake Monroe fan.
Oh yeah, he was amazing. I was not expecting to have show rated by a gothed out Milo Yiannopoulos. Like that's
such a good descriptor too.
It was like what is happening right now? I don't like my eyes cannot be processing what is happening correctly. But so that happened. It was amazing. We had a great show. I mean, just to get to meet Jake and then Phil from All That Remains, and then Jake turned out to be this giant All That Remains fan, so like that was cool. And then there's this fucking guy who I'm not trying to be cute or whatever. I wasn't aware of Anthony Fantano.
Wait, this was your first time learning about Anthony Fantano?
Yeah, I thought, and I described. I think to Moxie this way, and shout out to Moxie. You shouldn't worry about like whatever timeline of those vocals because you and Jess were the only people to actually complete the assignment. There was slated to be some other luminaries on that album, and maybe there will be one day, but you guys are the ones that did it. So thanks for that. But I described this guy as like I thought it was a joke at first because he looks like a math teacher that stole a jacket out of the Lost and Found from his high school. And I'm like, is this?
Yeah, that would imply that he's intelligent enough to do, let alone teach math. But go on.
But it hit every lib. Like, if I was to do a parody of what that was, it would be that.
It would just be him. And what's crazy is like So I've been aware of Anthony Fantano for a hot minute, and I've never liked the dude. And it's not even because of his ideology, like, because he's been a raging leftist. Because back in the day, you know, let's say 2018, 2019, you could stomach, you know, content creators and individuals on the internet that have different politics than you, as long as their content was good. But even that was never good. He's a shitty music reviewer.
Right.
He doesn't actually know anything about the music industry or about what does and doesn't make a good track. And like I would contrast him with a music reviewer called Todd in the Shadows. I don't know.
Oh, hell yeah, Todd in the Shadows I know quite well.
And I loathe Todd's politics, but
he's
I love
super
his
left.
content
Yes.
because he is super great at analyzing music and breaking down music. So regardless, I still watch Todd in the Shadows to this day, despite the fact that he is a commie POS.
Right.
Fantano has never been good. And so sometimes, and this isn't the first time I'd criticized Fantano on my channel before, but when I saw him come after you, I was fucking pissed.
Learning about him as of late, thankfully mostly through Moxie Dame. Yeah, dude's pretty knowledgeable on the alt-rock scene, on the goth scene, the scene. You guys get the point?
I'm sure his takes are going to be very informative here.
Hey, what's up? My name's Brian Graupner.
Well, let me tell you, again, the 2-hour conversation here.
Hey, what's up? My name's Brian.
Third guy. Brian Graupner, you know, Gasoline and Vertebrate. You mean the dude who had a massive cult following when it comes to the industrial goth scene, only to be canceled by his own people because he said that maybe you shouldn't cut the cocks off of 12-year-old boys? Yeah, that radical take?
I watched the video, and he barely comments on you and just calls you the other guy. The
Third guy. That's my new hand.
You, Fantano.
It's just like it. Yeah, it was pretty bad. I commented on the page like, thanks for the new avatar, because like I'm third guy.
Yeah, and you changed it to just said that, the third guy or whatever, which was fucking great.
And he is. The thing is, he's not entirely wrong on that, because it was like Jake was the star and I was there because his like +1 effectively. So like I didn't want to like
right, and even if that's the case though, because you're gonna sit here and you're gonna try and like minimize yourself and whatnot, and fuck that, I ain't gonna let you do that. Because here's the dealio: if he was the indie music expert that he thinks he is, that he claims he is, if he was really the dude that was listening to Arcade Fire before they were big, then he would know about the gothicals, he would know about indie, he would know about the indie goth industrial scene. And so the fact that he either didn't know who you are or pretended not to know who you are, either way, just blows his credentials, assuming he ever had any.
And that was, I thought, like, it's in my favor, so I'm going to sound obviously completely biased, but I thought in that sort of Todd in the Shadows way, where you come at it with logic, like that was one of your strongest argument, where it's like, my last name is Graupner. My bands are the Gothsicles and Gasoline Invertebrate. I am imminently Googleable. Like I cannot be confused with anything else. By design and after a fashion,
which is what means it was obviously intentional. He disagreed and hated on you individuals because of your politics so much. Right. He didn't even do the journal. He didn't even give the journalistic integrity to at least familiarize himself with your catalog or with your work. And
then he did. This is a weird move to explain, so I probably shouldn't have even brought it up, but I just did, so I'll try to. He does this thing that like it annoys the shit out of me because it fakes authenticity. But when you smash cut to yourself laughing, like this guy, like a bunch.
It's super cringe. Like, there's a reason that when I do my streams. Or my videos, either way, I'm a one-take wonder. I do everything in one take, and like if and there's very minimal to no editing to avoid shit like that. If I think something's funny, you're going to know because I'm laughing in real time. Like jump cuts and edits like that, I agree with you. Like they completely destroy authenticity.
Like a bunch of people got together and decided to edit your video as if it wasn't just you sitting in front of fucking Pro Tools or whatever. So we sort of just I'll cut in some clips as we're talking it here, but the actual question item I had written down was what you thought were the weakest points of his arguments. We sort of covered one, is that he didn't do any research on me, but did anything else stick out to you as
So another weak point, and this isn't even a weak point in his argument specifically. It's more a weak point of his argument style, which is something that is very typical of the left, and frankly, actually very typical of a lot of individuals on the right as well. Due to their ideological disdain for the opposite side, they don't even attempt to understand the other side's criticisms, and so they come in with intentional bad faith arguments, or at the very worst, either a misrepresentation, whether it's accidental or intentional. Now, I've got no reason to give this homo goodwill, so I'm going to assume it's intentional. But when you are so poor at articulating your argument against, let's say, Jake Monroe, that you just cut to a joke about how poorly done his makeup is, basically you do ad hom instead of actually addressing his argument, then you've lost the argument. Ad hom is the weakest way to contend with somebody's argument because you're not contending with it whatsoever.
Right. And once again, I'm glad you brought up Todd in the Shadows, because it is like such the perfect, like I'll talk about, like, you know, he'll go like, he uses this minor key change in every song and come at it with actual facts as opposed to like
Meredith Brooks, you know, she's got that famous song, I'm a bitch, I'm a lover. She's a hardcore Trumper, anti-vaxxer, which, hey, based in my opinion,
really, okay,
Todd Shadow hates that shit. And you know what? He still reviewed her song and her catalog fairly, even if he threw in barbs at her as a person. He reviewed her work fairly, and that's the least you could ask for.
I was not aware of that. All right, kick ass. Well, speaking of barbs and the taking thereof, I don't know a lot of your backstory, but I'm assuming, being the prolific commenter you are, let alone one in anime world, which seems to be quietly the most vicious fandom I think I know.
It didn't used to be like this. I'll put it that way. It's just like so many other fandoms. It didn't used to be like this, but there's reasons for it. But anyway, sorry, go on.
Right. Well, it's like it's the comparison I wouldn't think to make, but like you know how in a lot of ways Tori Amos fans are kind of like juggalos, like this insane devotion kind of thing.
I actually didn't know that about Tori Amos fans, but I mean, I since I know Juggalo, in fact, I've worked with Shaggy 2 Dope and whatnot. I'm very familiar with Juggalo.
What?
So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Well,
yeah, I used to be a booking agent promoter.
Oh, see, these are things I didn't know.
I didn't know you didn't know that. Yeah, but before I ever did YouTube or anything, I was a booking agent promoter. This is well over. It's probably 12-ish years ago. I worked with Shaggy 2 Dope, worked with Incubus, Smash Mouth.
Wow.
Real big fish. Yeah, I booked a lot of shows.
Okay. Well, I'm not trashing either group, but just in terms
trash away. I don't give a fuck.
Well, I'm not though, because it's just you wouldn't think to compare those two, or at least I wouldn't. But they have a lot of like. There's a lot of ritual involved in it, and certainly the uniform and the devotion. And in the same way, I think goth music world and anime world, based on the small amount of anime I know, have sort of gone down the same path, where it used to be like sort of, hey, anything goes, you're cool, I'm cool, and then it turned into just knives out, like Wolverine claws.
What happened was during COVID. So anime has slowly gained popularity and becoming mainstream. I mean, frankly, you can actually really accurately compare this to a lot of the music industry.
Okay.
So, you know, back in the late 80s and early 90s, you had some anime films came out and they did really good in like the film circuit, you know, for film nerds, Ghost in the Shell, Akira, things like that.
Right.
Then you had the Sci-Fi Channel, it added some anime to it. Then Dragon Ball and Sailor Moon hit Cartoon Network in the mid-90s, and shit exploded. And from there, you started seeing this rise of popularity, but it was still relatively niche. And then COVID happened, and when people were stuck at home and they couldn't watch anything, they watched everything, so they started switching to things they wouldn't normally watch because they were just out of content. A new swath of people found anime usually through Demon Slayer. That's the big one, and these people did not grow up with the cultural norms of anime, of the anime community, and who watches Netflix, especially under the late Trump and early Biden administration. A lot of fucking leftists. And so you now have all these usurpers who knew nothing about the community, nothing about the OG scene, who come in, and rather than accepting the fandom for what it is, they are going out of their way to change and alter anything and everything. Throwing a fit, there aren't enough black characters in anime, as if anime owes that to them. It's fucking Japanese. Throwing a fit about character designs. Oh, they're too overtly sexy. Oh, this character looks like a child, even though it's a fucking drawing. And the list goes on. And so they are actively going out of the way to denigrate and destroy the medium that so many of us have loved growing up. And it actually is affecting at the actual creative level. Japan...
Wow, okay.
Yeah, a lot of Japanese creators are either making the choice or being forced. So Japan has their, I assume you're familiar with BlackRock.
Oh, sure.
So Japan has their own version of BlackRock called the Marubeni Corp. And the Marubeni Corp is, actually they're even invested in by BlackRock.
Our listeners at home, that's just the big, giant, the man, real estate, scary, like they own everything kind of company.
Yeah. So BlackRock is the reason that everything has gone woke and whatnot. They are the chief chief investment company that's invested into every company under the sun and injected politics, DEI into everything. Well, they've also gotten in bed with Japan, and there's a second company called Marubeni Corp, which has gotten invested into anime and manga and video games. And so they are basically funneling investment money into all these nerdy Japanese mediums, saying, hey, if you're going to bring this game to America or whatnot, you've got to include gay characters, you've got to include black characters, all the leftist bullshit. And so it's affecting the actual. It's not just like, Gen Z or whatever fans bitching about anime on the internet. There's actual tangible results where anime is now being censored. Anime is now adding DEI elements. Video games, Japanese Square Enix and Capcom have openly stated, we're not making these products for the Japanese anymore. We're making it for the global audience. The global audience is code for we're making it for the woke Westerners.
Well, we'll get to where I was going with that for a second, but this is every conversation I think we've ever had. It takes more, like, we're in space, so we got like infinite direction, but tangents on tangents. But that's crazy. Like, my experience of anime was growing up was that you and maybe two other dudes had to pool your money in high school because the one VHS tape from Suncoast Video cost about $1,000.
I would say, yeah, dude. These videotapes, anime videotapes in the '90s, being like $36.99. Extrapolate that to modern day fucking inflation. It's like $100 for a tape, dude.
Right. And when in high school, like, forget about it. So it's like you all put in for, like, Neon Genesis Evangelion or whatever. Hope you saw a boob, and that was about it.
For real, I say my first movie boobs were Braveheart, but honestly, it was probably an anime that I don't even know the name of at this point. It's been lost to time because it's some obscure OVA.
It's all true, kids. And then there's a Crunchyroll world where you have it all at your fingertips. So I didn't know that was sort of the
and Crunchyroll has been a big proponent in the changing and alteration of anime. Crunchyroll is very all in on leftism, all in on wokeism. So you could have an anime. And this is like a real example, and this happens all the time. Here's one example. You have an anime where the Japanese line is, I will wow him with my feminist wiles. And it will be translated and dubbed in English as my feminism will overcome him.
No, really?
That is the norm on Crunchyroll. And if you are watching anime,
that's crazy.
You should. If you're watching anime, I'll say the YouTube-friendly version. You take it to the high seas. You should not be supporting Crunchyroll.
Oh, yar, if you will.
Yar, exactly.
I think there's a bay where those people hang out. Anyway,
right.
All of that to say, so you're in this sort of pop culture pit fight. I'm assuming you have now an amazingly thick skin, adamantium plating for skin. And many of our viewers are content creators. So I was wondering, is this something you developed over time, or were you just sort of born with an I don't give a fuck gene? Because I wasn't. Like, when I got hit, it was like, I don't know what to do. And now you could, say that, you could release an entire parody album and I would, bring it up a year after it came out. But so how do you help people at home who, are getting just eviscerated?
So I'm a big proponent of bullying. I really am. Because I was bullied the fuck out of when I was always shrimpy. I was always scrawny. I no matter how good I was at sports, which I was actually really good at sports, I held track records. I played soccer my life. I never fit in with the jocks, and so I got thick skin like in that era, just from being bullied all the time, and to the point where like by high school I was the class clown because like that was how you get attention. So I got thick skin for an incredibly long time. In fact, my mentality is bully people to thicken their skin. They need it.
Okay, interesting.
But also, if you watch my early stuff on YouTube, I am very tepid and milk toast, but not out of fear of like getting haters or whatnot. This is around the time when YouTube was still incredibly censorious. Nowadays, they're actually a lot better. Not to cap for YouTube because they have still have a lot of negative things about them, but they're far less censorious than they used to be. And so if you watch my early videos, I kind of dance around words and stuff like that. And I don't remember at what point I just decided to say, fuck it, say what you want. If YouTube takes you down, YouTube takes you down. And I'm still here. So my thought process is if you're a content creator, go balls to the wall because there's more people going balls to the wall. I'm not going to say it on this chat because I respect other people's platforms. On my show, you're going to hear the F slur and it's not going to be bleeped and it's not going to be danced around. I dropped that shit like 4 times a fucking stream or something like that. I love me a F slur. F slur's fun as shit. But yeah, no, I won't do it on other people's shows because I respect them. Because
thank you.
Everybody starts.
Why you gotta be such a faggot?
You can't stop all of us. Oh my man, he be dropping it exactly, bro. Why I gotta be a faggot? And if everybody starts doing it, they're not gonna be able to stop all of us. And by the same token, if you're getting haters, you're doing it right and monetize your haters, son.
There you go.
Fucking monetize them haters.
And that's why masks don't work.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
So that's how you grow a thick skin is you monetize it. Hell yeah.
Yeah, you monetize it, and you when kids beat you up and shove you in lockers in 6th grade, you make jokes about it.
There you go. Yeah. It's experience points, you know.
It really is.
You put that into an endurance.
Two type of people. You're either gonna get a thick skin and you're gonna man the fuck up, or you're gonna puss out like a bitch, and that's just Darwinism at work, son. Like if you can't handle words, the problem is not the person saying the words; it's the fact that you're a fucking pussy.
There you go. And completely, just out of curiosity, do you get?
Yes, I do get death threats in my inbox. Go on.
Okay. I am no stranger to it, but do you get recognized? Like if you're just at the grocery store or something, does that ever happen? Or is the once you got recognized?
I have been once for YouTube and then once back when I was in a band because like you do music and whatnot. So I got recognized at a mall once when I was in a band many years ago, and I've gotten recognized for YouTube one time. Now thankfully I was traveling when it happened, so I wasn't in my home city because I try and keep my location somewhat on the DL. That way I'm not like swatted or anything.
Right.
But I went on vacation last summer. Wait, we're in we're in March or we're in February now. So yeah, last summer I went on vacation and I got recognized while I was on vacation, which was fucking surreal. But
that's
only
cool.
happened once.
That's cool. I was just curious. Okay, so yeah, it's fun when it happens. So and speaking of fun, we are now going to delve into the universe's most challenging yet delightful gauntlet of questions. It's radiation round, to which I know you are no stranger. Okay, so with my extremely not what's the word I'm looking for? Unfamiliar, but certainly not expert by any means anime knowledge. Goku, Spike Spiegel, or Shinji?
As in, what's the context? Who's the strongest? Who's
I usually just throw it out because I'm curious as to what people will say, but asking for context is
Goku is my favorite of all time. Very obviously,
you are wearing a Goku
my favorite
shirt.
Anime character of all time. And Dragon Ball is my favorite anime of all time. It's not the best. It's not the, but it's my favorite. So
totally.
Goku will win every time.
Love it. Like, interestingly enough, nobody ever asks for context. It's a totally legit move, but because I'm just curious as to what people will do with it. But yeah, usually means like your choice or the best. So then we'll go with PlayStation 1 era characters: Cloud Strife, Jill Valentine, or Solid Snake.
Jill Valentine is my favorite female video game character of all time. Resident Evil is my favorite franchise of all time. And Jill and Leon like teeter on Jill, Leon, and Sonic are my 3 favorite characters.
Oh, okay,
in
cool,
video
cool,
game
cool.
history. So yeah, Jill Valentine.
Yeah, I just much like Trump, I wanted to throw the women's hockey team in there, or I'd be impeached.
What? No, it was. And again, Jill Valentine's a great example of how they
This is
used to be
amazing
able to write female characters.
Hell yes. And I don't know where this came from, but I sort of had some fun with it. Which of the following PBS shows would make the best?
I had such a fun time with this one. I know
it's kind of a hypothetical spectacle, but which of the following PBS shows would make the best anime? Bob Ross, Antiques Roadshow, or Sesame Street?
Okay, so I misread the question.
Okay.
And so I thought you were just using those as examples, and you just want me to think about PBS show in general.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Answer if that's
Go ahead.
Okay.
There's no wrong answers.
There was a PBS show back in like 2003 to 2005. Maybe it's still going. I don't fucking know. But it was called Cyber Chase. Do you know what this is?
No. What is Cyber Chase?
So Cyber Chase was basically an educational cartoon for kids about going into like the cyber world to stop computer viruses. And so it like taught kids in the mid 2000s all these cool like computer terminology and tech stuff, but they did it in almost this like superhero-ish stopping evil, like the evil virus was named Hacker and whatnot.
Oh,
and
hell yeah.
Like if you could take that away from, I mean, I don't take it away per se, but if you could translate that from being for like 10-year-olds just learning about computers to like 16-year-olds in this super digital tech world, it would be fucking awesome.
Oh, well, first of all, thank you for that knowledge, because I'm sampling the shit out of that. And
oh, you should. Yeah, check out the opening theme song. It's super fun. Or at least I remember it being super fun. I haven't seen this since like the early 2000s.
If the bad guy's first name is Hacker, and you can now in this AI world, like the thing that used to prevent a lot of sampling was that, like, especially in kids cartoons, Thundercats et al., there was always constant background music going, and you could like kind of EQ it out. But with AI, you could. It's just like it's too good.
It's
like,
so easy.
It's I'm checking that out. But I would love the animization, if you will, of something like that, where it's like Hacker becomes like this way over the top, very angular guy, and he's got to yell the name of the lead character over and over.
Yeah. By the way, lead character, if I recall, is a ginger, so it's nice to get some ginger representation.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah. Okay. Hell yeah. We will check out that Cyber Chase Human anime coming up. Teaching kids about distributed denial of service attacks and
yes, DDoS, baby.
Hell yeah. Okay, and we went for the official. So from the top, that was Goku, Jill Valentine, and Cyber Chase. And then so for the official hypothetical spectacle, we went. We designed Leon the anime last year, so I gotta go with because a lot of we've focused on pop culture media, but a lot of what you do is very video game centric. Oriented, but like not video game oriented in so much as like you'll make like a Super Mario reference. You'll really go into the cultural relevance of what's going on around it and what happened from sequel to sequel, and not just like the first person shooters are better than third person shooters. Kind of like it's very
the
impressive.
Cultural zeitgeist around video games is been shaking up ever since the Game in 2014, so it's very easy to commentate on. Yeah,
right. As well as the product itself. So you come at it from many facets, like a D20. You are many faceted. So all that being said, we got to design Leon Idol, the video game. Would this be like a real time strategy where each city settlement is like one of your shows, or would it be like a dating sim where each of the characters is like an avatar that Piranha Plant made of you? Like we can just date the many avatars of Leon. Like what would you as a video game be like?
So I have a couple of thoughts on this because like you're like an old school NES guy, which I am too. You know, I love the NES. I love the SNES, but like to me the crown jewel era of gaming was the like late PS1 or the mid 90s and the early 2000s, because there was two genres or two phenomenon that were super common. This was the golden age of survival horror.
Yes.
There was also the mascot wars. The mascot wars first started, it was just like Mario and Sonic. But by the time you get to like the PS1, you got Spyro and Crash Bandicoot. With the PS2, you got like Ratchet and Clank. You got Jack and Daxter. You got like Titan. So mascot characters gave the video game wars this ultimate identity that just it hasn't been seen since. So I either make like a mascot platformer game, like in the vein of like Mario 64 or Ratchet and Clank or something, with like a mascot like cartoonified version of myself, or I would go the old school Resident Evil, Fatal Frame, Silent Hill route, and it'd be like a legit classic survival horror game, and maybe it could be like, you know, everyone's zombies, and zombies are actually a metaphor for like the woke mind virus, and like they're all, you know, they're zombies, something like that. So it would be one of those two: is survival horror or like a classic platform mascot game.
Fantastic. Well, yes. Okay, I love that. There was a podcast I used to listen to called Business Wars, and they had an episode on Nintendo versus PlayStation. Fascinating. They didn't want like the PlayStation guy, didn't want like a mascot, and then they sort of like jujitsu that into being Crash Bandicoot for a second, and so yeah, you running around, and then I mean, there'd have to be a Hondo reference in there. Big up.
Absolutely. R.I.P. Yes, there would have to be.
Right, like maybe that's your health or something. But survival
or like
horror.
Navi the fairy, like in Ocarina of Time.
Yes, yes, that's what brings you back. Is like in the old school NES game when like the fairy would do like the circle around you.
Fairies.
Yes, perfect.
Absolutely.
Or if it's you as a survival horror, like Dino Crisis or something, what does survival horror mean? But things come through windows. So like if I was thinking like if you were to Leonize it, you could have Cinevere crash tits first through a window.
That would be fucking perfect. Yeah, Cinevere would absolutely have to be in the game. A lot of folk would have to be in the game, either for villains or heroes or whatnot, just because there's such an ever-expanding network of us doing this sort of thing. You could jam-pack it with references, and it would be incredible.
It's just Sammy Threepeat in the armor going like, Star!
Well, and the problem with Sammy Threepeat in the armor is that he would fall asleep at the wheel. So I don't know how aware you are of Sammy's tendencies on stream, but he has a tendency to crash on streams, and sometimes it makes streaming with him difficult. But I love him to death.
Oh, yeah, I last saw him and Moxie, and I think it was Darnell were doing AI Choose Your Own Adventure, and there was
those were
some weird sexually charged adventure at a Buc-ee's, and he was just like killing it. So maybe Buc-ee's is just a level in the survival horror video game. And
dude, a Buc-ee's full of like, because Buc-ee's is one of the happiest places on earth, bro. You got Disney World and then Buc-ee's. So like a Buc-ee's infested with woke mind virus zombies would actually be terrifying.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Homie, I just want some brownies and some pulled pork, and I'm out here trying to like put down some leftist Charlie Kirk style in a video game YouTube.
In a video, right? I just came here for the jerky. I didn't want to get like a lecture about how it's inhumanely raised by whatever. So okay, we have some video game developers in the audience. You now have some amazing ideas. Get in contact with our guest for the Words of Paradise video game and
Wars of Paradise. WARS. Wars of Paradise.
That's why you're the king. Wars of Paradise. I love it. I want to. Steve, we got to get that going. So we usually close out on any final thoughts you may have, or if you had a suggestion for sort of our Bastard Stepchild podcast, Deep Six Flicks, that is sometimes on and off.
Hopefully we'll eventually come back. Unfortunately, Moxie's semi-retired, but I love doing Deep Six Flicks, and I've had a suggestion for ages, and it still hasn't happened yet.
Well, I know she's ill right now. She has a license to ill, and that she's dope as hell, but is also unfortunately under the weather. Speaking of smoking hot YouTube chicks, but so it's a movie review podcast we do. The one we did of Caligari or Dr. Caligari is
So
still like
fun.
it's like a happy place in my heart.
I love. Was that my? I think that may have been the first.
I think that was the
episode
first one.
did with you guys.
I watched that
You did an
that
episode
Freddy
before I hopped
Krueger
in.
fucking Fan of the Opera and then fell asleep when you guys recorded. I still feel bad about it. But
No, it's okay. The Freddy, the Phantom of the Opera Freddy Krueger one was also great. I love. I've loved every one we've done with Foxy Moxie and you. Like it's been incredible.
it's been great stuff. So, Velocipaster, that my friend is in. So, what's your suggestion, man?
There's a Bruce Campbell movie called Alien Apocalypse from like 2005.
Okay, I had never. I thought I had at least a workable knowledge of Bruce Campbell's body of work,
Dude,
but
it's so great. He and a bunch of NASA astronauts are like up in space, and while they're up in space doing like International Space Station stuff, these like giant termite aliens come down to Earth and enslave all of humanity.
Oh, wow.
And so Bruce Campbell and his like astronaut crew come back to Earth to find it all enslaved, and they're like the last line of defense as they take like war to these like giant termite aliens. The acting is horrible except for Campbell because he's a goddamn gem. The dialogue is cheesy. The effects are fucking terrible. It
Right.
is everything you want out of a B movie, and it makes my little heart flutter.
oh, well. The only impediment to that is going to be me restraining myself from watching it beforehand. But all right, 6. So we'll slate that. We'll see if we can make that happen. Dragon Slayer. I have not seen that dude in a fortnight.
I don't think he exists anymore, man. I'm gonna be real.
He went
I
back
think
to
he
the
might be
dragon
the
plane.
Moxie show at this point because I don't think he. I don't even know if he's alive.
Well, because I never seen him, of course, because it's just a picture. So maybe it was just Moxie like sock puppeting the whole time, just ventriloquist dummy.
I don't think Moxie could muster the energy to find a way to reference Rings of Power in any conceivable situation. I used to do a different show. Like Dragon Slayer is a nice guy. I love Dragon Slayer. He's one of the very first people I ever streamed with back when I started like 3 years ago. But he is a one-note dude.
Okay.
Bring up Rings of Power or Lord of the Rings in any way, and you're lost the rest of the stream.
Well, my favorite move is when he insists on correcting me on something that he turns out to be wrong on. But
which happens all that happened back in the day about a bunch of other shit as well.
Okay.
He's very easy to correct.
10-4. I thought that was. I don't know if that was just me or what, but thank you for
No,
that.
that's not just you at all.
Okay. So now, maybe we'll do a title for this one day, but now it's sort of still ad hoc, which is called "What We Learned Today." You at home may have learned that Leon Idol is dope as fuck, but we, of course, already knew that already. Many shows. He is now a full-time streamer, so put in Words of Paradise on YouTube. You can catch it all. Did a deep dive on the heart attack gun. That's fun.
But again, no one will ever see it because YouTube booted that episode. So you just have to check out our other Tinfoil Haters episodes.
You'll have to go into the heart attack gun of your mind /heart attack. So the shit's been good. We had you crush it on a gas track not even a year ago, but it feels like a different planet, pardon the pun. So go check that out. I don't know, maybe we should do round 2, just update it every year with like dude,
I would love to.
It turned out great.
Cancel Hell. Cancel Fell. Oh wait, no, because the cancel would be us.
We could do Cancel Hell in a Cell and just make it WWF.
Oh, dude, Cancel Hell in a Cell. That's a great idea.
Hell yeah! We'll get like Mankind to come in and do like a verse, and, like Undertaker and shit.
Bro,
he's based as fuck, by the way. So like,
I was saying, are there any base wrestlers fucking left? So knowing he's based, that's
no,
good to know. I wasn't sure
because it's like he did.
Mick Foley isn't, and that's depressing as fuck because he was my favorite for years.
Because he never gave interviews. Like he was in character for like years, and then just did like this behind the scenes thing. He's wearing like 9-line shirts in like every shot, and I'm like, are you?
That's awesome. Yeah.
And then he started a podcast, and like Trump was his first guest, and it was like, hell,
what? I didn't know that.
As if I could like fucking Undertaker anymore. The over the hill goth guy that never knows when to quit is my spirit animal. But So anyway, well, now we've just decided we're doing that. If speaking of takedowns, if that's your thing, in the most brutal match since Mankind fought Undertaker, check out my boy Leon manhandling Anthony Fantano, and just like I have to like warn my viewers at home, the jacket alone is gonna make you want to turn it off. Like, you're going to have to just power through that jacket, maybe watch with one eye closed. So
as long as you watch my video covering it and not Anthony's video, you'll be fine, because you will hear me just verbally eviscerate this pencil sharpener, and it's incredible.
That's a great plan of attack. No backstory needed. I don't just skip right to the Words of Paradise offering. Bullying, not entirely bad. It was like the sin of sins in, like, what would you say, 2008 to 2010. Like,
I would go further back, because I maybe I'm wrong, because you're a little bit older than me, so maybe you can shed light on this. But I remember all the like anti-bullying stuff.
That's where
really
I'm going with it.
Up in like the mid-90s. Like, they started to make this big deal out of like anti-bullying messages during Saturday morning cartoons and anti-bullying assemblies in school. And it was like, I think it started then, and then it hit its apex around when you're talking about. We had to have that window point.
That is when it started. Yeah, because you'd have like, for kids, it started like that, because there'd be like the Tiny Toons episode where it's like, don't be bullied. And then like the nightly news got a hold of like the Bully Project around the later aughts. Anyway, I say all that to say, not without its merit, because it's experience points, and you can put that into Constitution and turn out the tank of the party, like our guest today. We had Goku, Jill Valentine, and Cyber Chase, which I will be jumping into. No, man, I could sample Reboot too. Speaking of like kids,
Reboot is so good, dude. I actually recently rewatched Reboot like a year and a half ago, and it holds up as long as you appreciate that sort of janky Canadian CGI from the 90s.
Yeah,
but beyond that, it holds up. I really liked rewatching Reboot.
It's a little bit hard to watch. It makes me want. I don't know if you had Discovery World where you are, where it's like that sort of like Nickelodeon era of animation that was all about like geometric shapes and shit. But it's like a kid's science museum.
Vaguely familiar, but like I don't remember
Kids Science Museum. I think it was a brand that's since gone.
I do remember that. Yeah.
Anyway, it's that level of animation. I watched an episode of it a couple of years ago, and I actually like legit laughed out loud. Like, they made like a flat screen monitor joke or something. Anyway, I didn't expect to go on a Reboot tangent, but so it is. But you don't have to reboot, or maybe you do have to reboot the Leon Idol video game, because it's late PlayStation 1 era, which were generally pretty glitch-free, unless like your what do you call it? Save card got screwed up or something like that.
Yeah, that happened. Corrupted files.
Right. I did a movie review podcast. Speaking of those, recently, that's not out yet, but you'll see it soon. And the movie we reviewed was, of all things, Minority Report, which was
plastic and
it's great,
scarily possibly accurate to where we're headed.
And that's the thing that stood out to me. It's like so much of it was like, wow, did you guys get like a memo from the future? Because they nailed it.
Right.
But some stuff is so like they still have physical media. Like we can like some.
They didn't predict the New World Order trying to remove physical media because we can own nothing. We villains the pause, we will the bugs, and we feel happy.
Right. Well, and the VW guy is in it. He's like an eye surgeon that can replace your eyes in like a shitty apartment. I forget his name, but he put Steve Buscemi in the chipper shredder at the end.
I couldn't tell you his name. Yeah,
okay, but we're talking about the same.
Yeah, I knew you were talking about.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, tangents upon tangents. But Leon Idol will either be a Mascot Wars amazing late PlayStation 1 era game, or a survival horror game, and we'll definitely like Cinevere's VTuber Knockers will feature into it
Absolutely. This is the classic era of gaming where big titties were the norm. So.
Right. I think just the left one will be a level boss, and then like like video games, like they had the boss come in at like weak form, and then he'd come back like later.
Yeah,
like,
he's powered up or whatnot.
Right.
Or better yet, did you ever play Shadow of the Colossus?
Yeah. Yes.
So you had to like climbing the Colossus was
Right.
the level itself. Climbing Cinevere's tits would be the level. Like.
That's the show, folks. We're not gonna get any better than a Shadow of Colossus video game where you like have to rappel and like an ice climber traverse massive.
There it is. There's that nest love ice climber.
That's how I do it. I know it's a cliche to mash up ice climber and your friend's fake anime knockers. Happens a lot. But, it's a cliche for a reason. This video, I knew we were going to go to weird places, and I'm happy we're now here on Planet Cineboob. So with that being said, we'll check out Bruce Campbell movie. I've actually never heard of. So I will bring this flying couch back on into the station, unless you have any Jerry Springer-style final thoughts you want to throw out. Otherwise, I will say...
forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza.
There you go. So I will co-opt our guest catchphrase one more time because I like it. Bingo, bango, bongo. Check. That is fun to say. I see why you.
It really is.
So check that out as printed on his merch. So go check out the wonderful Words of Paradise merch. The many offerings. Tinfoil Haters is Tuesday nights, and then you do shows almost every day of the week.
Yeah, I do shows every day. Live streams and videos. Excuse me, just about every day. So if you're not into all the pop culture stuff and you get too much of that, man, join us for Analog Horror Nights, where we just talk about
horror nights,
crazy, weird horror stuff on the deep parts of the internet that are oft unattended to. It's great for escapism.
And to say nothing of your frequent appearances as a guest on other programs, everybody's always laughing when Leon comes on. So you do a lot of guest work, which is not nothing. I appreciate that. So, Brian for Space, for Leon for Words of Paradise, and call the spaceships to Davenport, prepare for a div anarchy, and interface with the Counter Space Media. And then just let us talk over the end credits here. I don't know if I had named the astronaut when you were here, but he's now Spence Couch.
I like that. I like Spence Couch.